States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The meeting is officially called to order. We have the roll call by our clerk.
Councilmember Archibald?
Here.
Councilmember Haremza?
Here.
Councilmember Lamb?
Here.
Councilmember Mosherak?
Here.
Councilmember Payton?
Here.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Here.
Mayor Ashford?
Present. Council members, you have before you the minutes of March 24th. Is there a motion? So moved.
Support.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald and supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosherak?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Okay, under presentations, audience, just before I get to presentations, we have a special presentation that we would like to present. If Caleb Gordon will join me at the podium, please.
That's why they're all here.
I'm a little bit surprised.
You're surprised? Okay. These are not yours, these are somebody else's. Ladies and gentlemen, okay.
I'm really surprised.
Now you're really surprised. Take a good look at Caleb. Caleb, show me. All right. I told you to look at it because he's usually on the radio or something. He's talking to you, but now he's here in person, looking good, natural and everything. But we would like to actually, award him. He's going to some more greener pastures, and he'll tell us about that when he talk about it. But it's one thing about people. When they do such a good job, you can say thank you or whatever. But just to show some real true appreciation and sincere. He did a lot for us while he was here in the city of Port Huron and reporting news. Well, WPHM's finest. Like to recognize your boss, Scott, Shelby. So, okay, also. So I'm going to do this. Okay, it says Caleb Gordon, Program Director, WPHM, the Chief Engineer, WPHM, WSAQ, WBTI, WHLS, WHLS. Well, that's almost all the alphabet. Okay, so Caleb, this is in appreciation of 15 years of delivering accurate and important local news to the citizens of the city of Port Huron. A grateful community, on behalf of a grateful community, the city council and administration, and we thank you. Give me some love, guys. All right.
That's incredible.
It is. And our city manager loved to talk. So, and I know you were the closest to him because he's always talking. So, James, could you have a few comments?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to say thank you to Caleb for all of your years of covering stories that aren't sexy, that Detroit media doesn't pick up, water projects, sewer projects, things that are important to the taxpayers in Port Huron. I said this back when Jackie Smith took on a different role. I think as our community, as global media has changed, we take for granted having local news. Local news is incredibly expensive to produce, and the revenue model is broken. And so it's a service that Caleb provided this community, that Jackie's provided this community, providing local news and covering stories that otherwise we wouldn't know about. We're in a very strange world right now where we have a lot of fake news and fake video blogs on the internet who portray to be newsworthy, but the actual news and the facts are very important. I think, Caleb, your integrity in the line of questioning, you actually put me in the fire line a few times, but it was that's the way our forefathers wanted it. But I do think as a community we are very grateful for having local media, whether it's Times Herald or our local radio stations. I think oftentimes we take them for granted, and Caleb, we did not take your professionalism and your hard work for granted. I recognize we're a small media market and you are an outsized talent for our area, but we do appreciate it.
Wow, that's very kind. Thank you. Thank you very much, City Manager and Mayor Ashford. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been covering these meetings either from afar or from being here for the past 8 years. And I appreciate the opportunity to get to know all of you here at the City Council. And I just want to echo the comments that James just made. We are one radio reporter and one print journalist away from being a news desert here in Port Huron. So if there's anything I have to say is I appreciate all of the accolades, but please continue to support local media, your newspaper, your radio stations. Without them, we will be left up to keyboard warriors in a conspiracy theorist world. So I really appreciate the accolades tonight, but there's a whole staff at Radio First. Some of them are here tonight. The management and ownership of Radio First are very dedicated to local news, and I thank them for all these years. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Caleb.
You may now read the presentation, please.
Proclamation recognizing the month of April as Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald will join you at the podium. She's been route. Kick Nancy. I know that's right. No, don't kick Nancy. We'll call somebody in. Okay. This presentation is on behalf of Child Abuse Prevention Month. It reads as follows. Whereas Port Huron's children are our future, whenever one child is abused or neglected, the entire community suffers. And whereas in St. Clair County, 5,700 children were living in poverty, 3,494 children were living in homes investigated for child abuse and neglect, and 550 children were confirmed victims of child abuse and neglect. And whereas child abuse is one of our nation's most serious public health problems, and studies have well documented the link between abuse and neglect and a wide range of medical, emotional, and behavioral disorders, including depression, alcoholism, drug abuse, and juvenile delinquency. And whereas unemployment, poverty, parental drug and alcohol abuse, stress, and social isolation increase the risk of an environment in which child maltreatment can occur, and whereas promoting optimum family functioning, resiliency, adequate and social support system, and knowledge of parenting, child development, all are known protective factors which prevent child maltreatment and help strengthen families. And whereas this month and each month hereafter, this city and county, under the leadership of the St. Clair County Child Abuse Neglect Council, pledges the strength of our entire community to prevent child abuse and neglect and not to stand by in silence. Now, therefore, I, Anita R. Ashford, by the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Port Huron, and on behalf of council members Archibald, Horenza, Lamb, Moserat, Payton, and Pemberton, do hereby proclaim April 2025 to be Child Abuse Prevention Month in the city of Port Huron. Child abuse prevention is an acknowledged community responsibility. Let me read that again. Child abuse prevention is an acknowledged community responsibility, and it is our duty to cherish our children and help them grow and develop to their fullest potential. In witness whereof, I do hereby set my hand and cause the corporate seal of the city of Port Huron to be affixed this 14th day of April 2025. Can we please give them a round of applause and show our support for Child Abuse Month?
Original need to, but I decided to. Thank you, Mayor Ashford, fellow city council members, and good evening. On behalf of the St. Clair County Child Abuse and Neglect Council, I am proud and deeply grateful to accept this proclamation recognizing April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. This recognition is more than symbolic. It is a public commitment to the safety and well-being of our community's children. Child abuse and neglect are difficult topics. Most people don't want to talk about it, they don't want to hear about it, they don't want to know that it's happening, but it is. By coming together to raise awareness, we bring these painful issues out of the shadows and into the light, where healing and prevention can begin. At our Child Advocacy Center, we conduct forensic interviews of nearly 300 alleged child victims each year. According to the statistics, our county is seeing almost double the number of children that they say we should based on the formulas. That's really sad. These children come to us during some of the most difficult and vulnerable moments of their life. Our team listens with care, conducts themselves with professionalism, assists law officers and CPS with investigations, and advocates with unwavering compassion. But the work doesn't stop there. We know that healing from abuse takes more than a conversation. It takes time, support, and specialized care. That's why we provide advocacy and trauma-focused cognitive behavioral mental health therapy for child victims of abuse, offering them the tools they need to begin their journey of healing and hope. Our prevention efforts are equally important. Through education programs in every elementary, middle, and high school, and outreach to the wider community, we work to stop abuse before it starts. That is always our #1 goal. Because every child deserves to grow up safe, nurtured, and free from harm. This proclamation not only honors the work of our team and our partners, it also sends a powerful message to survivors that they are not alone. It tells the children of St. Clair County that their safety matters to all of us. And it reminds all of us that protecting children is not the job of one organization, but as Mayor Ashford said, the responsibility of an entire community. Thank you for recognizing April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. Thank you for supporting the mission of the St. Clair County Child Abuse and Neglect Council. And thank you for standing with us as we work to create a safer, stronger future, one child at a time. Together we can break the silence. Together we can prevent abuse. And together we can bring hope and healing to every child who needs it. Because it shouldn't hurt to be a child. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem. Now we will move on to remarks from our Deputy City Manager, Nancy Wesley. Let's give her a round of applause. It takes a lot. I mean, she's been MIA, and now she's back looking like the bionic woman. All right.
All right. Well, today is bittersweet, standing here before you guys for my last time at the podium and the conclusion of 31 years here with this great city of Port Huron. After 31 years of serving this community as your Parks and Recreation Director and as your Deputy City Manager, time has come for me to bid farewell, which is very weird, but it's time. And obviously God has his ways, because he's put me in a chair here for the last, I don't know how many months, and I've had a lot of time to reflect on my time here. This journey has been filled with countless memories. Sense of pride of what I do every single day and the accomplishments that we make together every day. It's hard to believe that I started here with my youngest, at the same age that my youngest daughter is right now. So I grew up here. I mean, you know, I learned a lot of life lessons throughout the year. Started teaching on the baseball field, bitty baseball, sporties for shorties, you know, and it all is with the kids, you know. It's always been about the kids, and it's brought me so much joy. I mean, really. In those early days, I couldn't have imagined, you know, what the impact would be or how excited or what this job was going to bring to me. But to come back home and get to work in my community has just been the biggest blessing to me in the world. looking back at all the things that we've accomplished together, we've done over $10 million worth of park projects. We've touched, we've leveraged tons of grant dollars. We've, touched 22 over 23 parks. We've, got Discover City now, McMorran, lots of great things. And those are all great things, and we talk about those things all the time here. But, some of my greatest things that I love is to hear things like, thanks for being an amazing supervisor. Thanks for what you taught me. And, and watching people have fun. That's why we're here. I always look for that in an interview when somebody, why do you want to be in Parks and Rec? And they say, I want to see other people and the joy it brings to them. That's the true answer. That's the true answer. Before I just want to, I'm sorry, I know I'm not usually nervous, but
No,
today I am a little bit. I did have a couple call outs today because my team's here today and I have the utmost respect for them. Nobody gets where they are without an amazing, amazing team. So because James said I had 1 minute for every year I've been here. So I'm going to start with Kim Harmer, who isn't here tonight, but her endless grant writing, call ourselves yin and yang, because I have the crazy ideas, and she, puts them into writing, and Ben makes them happen, and Cynthia keeps us all in line along the way. So here's to Kim. Thanks for all her grant writing. Parks and Recreation works when everybody else is off.
All right.
So, people don't realize that, but it's true. And I think Ben Pyack's out there tonight. He's our park supervisor. And things that you don't know about him is, he does an amazing job on projects and parks. But, he's at the beach on the weekends making sure that things running right. The mazillion people that are down there. He's having his kids up and turn on the Christmas tree to make sure when it all blows circuits downtown. Those are the things that people don't see. Jason Coleman, who I think has been an amazing addition to our team. He's, making the cemetery look great and doing great things there, and with our tree program. Great, amazing person. I apologize, it's a little long, but 31 years, it's going to take a minute here, so give me a minute.
You're okay.
Katie running all the great programs at the rec department, being there for the pools. You guys don't realize the asset you have, and she does amazing work with all the kids and all the people that work under her. And Discover City, the addition of Discover City. Robin Ashley, all the great things at McMorran. That we see all the time. I'm pretty sure those two sleep there somewhere. I just haven't been able to figure out where. So, and then Cynthia, who is going to be an amazing new deputy city manager. She is the heart and soul, and she's going to do great things. And I've been privileged to be able to work with her the last, I don't even know how many years, but a while. But thank you for all she's done. It's been an honor to be a part of the team. It's been an honor to work with these people. I mean, it really has. But the great thing about the city of Port Huron, I want everyone to remember this, we have good days, we have bad days, but we're family here. And just like your family at home, good days, bad days, sometimes you don't always get along. But as I look to the future, if we work together, these are the great things that can happen. When we tear people down, it just doesn't work. So we need to work together. I also want to take a moment to talk about the city employees as a whole. It's easy to criticize people when you're at home on your keyboard, but these people love this city. Walk around the building. First floor, clerk's office, treasurers, they're trying to deal with people's problems all the time, and they do it with a smile. Second floor, they keep us, so you don't want to go to the second floor because it's personnel, it's finance, and computers. But they are amazing because they keep all of us in order, in line, especially people like me. So thank you for all they do. Our chiefs are amazing. We're so lucky to have them. Fourth floor, we got, our downtown, all those guys. And little Mikey, he does a great job as well. Who am I missing here? I don't even know. I'm missing someone. Stand by. Oh, the engineers and community development. Jasmine and their group, they do a great job over there. But the engineers are way smart for their own good, but they do keep me in line with all the projects. So thank you to them as well. So when I transitioned over to deputy city manager, it was a new challenge, one that allowed me to broaden my contribute to the city in new ways. And I want to thank James for that opportunity. He saw in me what I didn't see in myself, and I appreciate that, and I know he does that for so many people here and doesn't get enough credit for that. I feel like it was a true honor to work alongside a leader like him. So I want to thank you for that. I've learned so much from you, and I think that we've worked hard to do some really cool things in this city, and thank you. I will never forget my time here with you. I also have to mention Joanne Plager. the ultimate recreation director from way back when I got my start at the YMCA, and Betty Dunn. I call her the GOAT, the greatest of all time. So if you do what Betty will do, you always are on the right path. And Donna Easter, who always pushed me to be better than I knew I could be, so thank you to her. I left my family for last. They're here today. I have a great family. I mean, like, literally, I don't think I've cooked in 6 months. So, I mean, I'm so thankful to them. My daughter's here today. I'm so proud of her. Amazing professional and woman that she's become. Great at marketing and communication. And I got a bonus son there, Eric, and my daughter, Caitlin, who's finishing up at MSU in packaging. You know, when you are in recreation, it's a family affair. You know, I know Ben's kids, I've seen them picking up, my kids have picked up trash at the parks. My nieces and nephews have picked up trash at the park. We respond to pool calls. That's what it is. We work events when you don't have enough people. And so they've been my rocks, and I want to thank them for that too. Also, to my parents who hopefully are looking down saying, man, we're sure glad that recreation degree actually made some money. And my brother, who's always a huge supporter and contributes to our city. I just want to thank you. And my last thank you, and again, I'm sorry it's so long, but this amazing community. You've been partners in the work along the way, and I want to thank you for that. And I mean, Kathy Winkler's here today. She's a great example of that. I mean, I call and people probably shudder, like, oh my God, what's she going to ask us for today? But this community always comes together. And when you walk around the state and you talk to people, they talk about us. We're the envy. So let's continue to be that envy, because that's where I'm stepping away from my professional duties here, but I will always love this city with all my heart. I want to thank you. It's truly a privilege. Thank you for everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Pastor Nancy.
Madam Mayor, if I could.
Oh, yes. Chair recognizes City Manager.
I just want to take a moment to thank Nancy for her years of service. As she skedaddles out of here, she doesn't want the attention. She can't sit there. You know, when I met Nancy, she was in recreation, but everyone talks about Nancy being the director of Park and Recreation, but that's not who she ended up being. She oversees multi-million-dollar budgets, hundreds of employees. I always tell people if I fell over dead, nobody would miss me because I knew I had Nancy and Cynthia there to run the city. I became the most replaceable employee with her here. I thought a lot about today. I was thinking about what I would say about Nancy, all that she's accomplished, the trailblazing, creating the pathways. I think your greatest legacy is the people you leave behind. We have incredible staff here that is capable, that you have developed. You will leave, and operationally, nobody's going to miss you because they're so well-trained and well-versed. On a personal note, I love you. My 2 children love you. My wife loves you. I hope that every single person throughout a course of their life gets to have a friend like Nancy Windsor. And so you are my colleague, but I love you as a friend, and I just thank you for everything you've done for me and my wife personally. There will be on Friday, there will be a short ceremony and a public viewing, reception. For Nancy, sorry. That comes in a few years. At McMorran Plaza, we have some tokens of our appreciation and some things we will give Nancy then. We'll decorate the old war horse with some plaques then, but everyone's welcome to come. It'll be a nice reception at McMorran, open to the public, on Friday from 5 to 7.
Nancy, just thank you, City Manager Freed. Nancy, on behalf, you're resurrected now, but on behalf of the Port Huron City Council and the Mayor, we'd like to thank you for all your 31 years of what you've given to the city. And I know it was a two-way street, and I know you loved it, and we all just appreciate beyond. They're just not words, they're really heartfelt and heart-sent, that we appreciate everything you did to help make Port Huron what it is today is in the world of recreation and the kids. So thank you so very much. God bless you. You're welcome. Okay. All right. Howling on out. Okay. Okay, we will continue. We will move on to our public hearing.
To hear comments on the proposed 5-year consolidated plan and a 1-year annual action plan.
Public hearing is now open. Do we have anyone here wishing to address public hearing? Okay. Would you name and address?
Mayor Rep, City Manager, Council members.
Excuse me, Mayor Ashford. You said Mayor Rep.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I just,
It's one of the senior moments. But anyways, I'd like to comment that, you still got to slot in there $12,000 for a neighborhood cleanup, and I think you're really underestimating that, We have a burnout house next to us that they've been working on for months, on and off. There's vagrants that are starting to visit there as a place to go. I talked to a city employee the other day about some sump pump that empties the city street and stuff, and it's on their list to fix, but I think we could spend a lot more money than $12,000 for cleaning up the city. Thank you.
okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Harris. Okay, is there anyone else in the audience wishing to address public hearing? Okay, thank you. Name and address, please.
Sarah Melnar from Croswell, and I'm addressing you tonight on behalf of Matchstick City, Polly's Place, down on 2937 27th Street. In our mission to end hunger here in Port Huron as soon as possible, we have procured by my own donation and expense 30 fruit trees and 100 asparagus crowns to plant in the garden this year. We plan on interplanting the fruit trees with perennial produce to help to try to provide the community with beautiful free food forests for generations to come. To come and enjoy the beauty, harvest the fruits of our labors, and enjoy beautiful, fresh, free food.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to come before the council at this time? Okay, hearing and seeing none, public hearing closed. At this time, I would like to take an executive privilege right here. Jasmine, do you have any highlights that you'd like to share with us this evening? And I'm asking her for highlights in the proposed 5-year consolidated plan that we have for 2025 and 2029, just so you'll know what we're talking about.
So the Consolidated Plan is a 5-year plan required by HUD for communities that receive HUD funding. It is a planning tool that lists what you plan to fund for the next 5 years and discusses community needs. We have done a community survey, 2 community forums, and presented at the Community Services Coordinating Body in regards to the Consolidated Plan, and we got a lot of great public feedback. And so we used that feedback and then past history of need and how we spend money and et cetera to develop a new plan. So our new plan is highly focused on our housing rehab program. It is the most popular it's ever been, and right now all of our 2025 funding that we will not get until August of this year is already committed. So we will not be accepting any new applications potentially until 2026.
Oh, okay.
So which is why you'll see in the funding matrix, so much of the funding is going to housing rehab because there's just an exorbitant need in this community for it. And we are taking so many calls and emails on a daily basis. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Anybody have any questions of her or anything towards that plan? Okay. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Okay. Nice job. Now we're at the part of public comment. Sorry. If anyone in the audience wishes to address the city council on any agenda item or any matter under the city's jurisdiction, now is the time to do so. You are allotted 1 4-minute opportunity to make your comments, and please begin by saying your name and your address. Is there anyone in the audience?
I'll take this right this time. Mayor,
Okay.
for 58 years, we've lived at 1521 Wells Street in Port Huron. Myself, my wife, my family, we've kept up our neighborhood as best we can. Sometimes we're always fighting the elements. Well, recently the elements have closed the alley behind our house. So rather than me keeping the alley for 58 years, I'm just gonna leave it the way it is and hope somebody else has enough energy to take care of it. But when we're talking about that, when we're not getting things done and people do this stuff, I was privileged to go to the comprehensive master plan, to that workshop back in last month. It was kind of interesting, and the fact was the idea that we got discussion, open discussion, and we got talking about the city water and sewer and the water and sewer rates and stuff. And I was stopped right there when the facilitator basically said, well, we aren't going to talk anymore about the water sewer rates, because all the other people, you can't compare the rates because they get subsidized by their government. Well, unfortunately, I went and called all the cities that get water and sewer from us, and nobody helps with their water bills. The only thing they said is Fort Gratiot said that they're doing a rate study on what they're going to do in Fort Gratiot. Another thing, you know, a lot of people don't look at this stuff, but I look back at this history. For 10 years, we've appointed, or the mayor has appointed, 78 people to different boards and secretary and signs within the city of Port Huron. Well, last meeting, we spoiled that record. That was 10-year record, 78 people appointed without anybody deflecting their membership, and we screwed that up. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else who would like to come before the council at this time?
You're only blessed with one Farquhar tonight. I'm Rachel Farquhar, 2417 19th Ave. Good evening, members of council, Mayor Ashford, and when James gets back, to him as well. First and foremost, I want to express my deepest gratitude to the city of Port Huron for listening to its citizens. The adoption of the Joshua Conant Ordinance is not only a step forward for justice, but a moment of reflection for us all. As a mother, my children are growing up quickly, and I'm constantly reminded of the importance of accountability, especially when it comes to those who are tasked with protecting businesses and their patrons. It is essential that when harm is done, regardless of intent, there is a path to justice. To Joshua's family, thank you. Thank you for your courage, your persistence, your strength in the face of unimaginable grief. I did not know Joshua personally, but I'm in awe of the resilience that his family has shown. Because of their fight, my children, my husband, my neighbors, and I live in a community that has a clear path to justice. Excuse me. And the other ordinance that's on the agenda that I wanted to talk about is close to my heart, obviously. I first spoke with a few council members and Mr. Freed about backyard chickens nearly 5 years ago. Somewhat joking, not ready yet to take a stand. I knew back then that we weren't ready. So to finally be here tonight as a community, having this conversation, it is both exciting and encouraging. I want to assure you that there are citizens ready and willing to step up, to educate, to work alongside the city to ensure this ordinance is successful and sustainable. We recently started a Facebook page called Port Huron Backyard Chickens, where community members can come together to share resources, offer support, and help each other raise healthy, happy flocks without negative impacts on our neighbors. The backyard chicken community throughout Michigan has a strong foundation. There are people who are ready to guide, to foster birds when needed, and to support those who may realize chicken keeping isn't for them. We hope our local page becomes a vital tool, not only for other chicken keepers, but also for city officials. I've read comments from those who are against the ordinance, and some people say that people can't even take care of their dogs and cats. Why should they be allowed to have chickens? To them I ask, you propose that we ban dogs and cats because some people can't handle their responsibility? Excuse me. Thomas Jefferson once wrote, I would rather be exposed to the inconveniences of attending to too much liberty than to those attending to a too small degree of it. Others are concerned about attracting wildlife, but studies from other cities that allow backyard chickens show no noticeable increase. And let's be honest, Port Huron already has wildlife. We live alongside the lake, by a river, surrounded by wooded areas and farmland. Take a kayak trip down the Black River and you'll see wildlife coexisting peacefully with some of our most beautiful and expensive homes in our area. Chickens won't attract more scavengers than our dumpsters or trash cans already do. I thank the city for recognizing that we, the citizens, have a right to self-sustainability, a right to teach our children how to survive, how to grow their own produce, and how to collect their own protein. These are not radical ideas. They are skills rooted in tradition and common sense. Lastly, I want to speak from my heart. I grew up with chickens. I loved my chickens. They're smart, they're trainable, affectionate, and endlessly curious.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Farquhar. Do we have anyone else wishing to come before the city council this evening?
I'm here tonight to Curtis Carroll, Prairie Township. Just show my support for the Joshua Conan ordinance, and then you guys taking it further and going to the state level with it. Been coming to these meetings for quite some time now. Got to know all you guys publicly, I guess. And I don't know, some of my small battles I tend to give up on because the wheels of city government turn kind of slow sometimes. I hope that they turn a little faster. And like in the beginning of this council meeting, pray for you guys, pray for the city, and hope for the best. I expect the worst, but I expect your support tonight.
Okay, thank you. Do we have anyone else out there wishing to come before the council this evening? Okay, thank you so much. We will move on to our consent agenda.
So moved.
Do we have a motion for the
So moved.
consent agenda? Okay. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald and supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, motion carried. Okay. Yep, you can take the roll call now.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Under the consent agenda are the following items. Under boards and commission, we have one to receive and file a copy of the completed 2025 assessment roll. Under, from the Director of Finance, we have received and filed the notification that the annual conflict of interest statements have been reviewed and no discrepancies have been noted. Under resolutions, the following: authorizing the levy of the operating tax rate for Blue Water Area Transportation Commission as authorized by the voters on May the 7th, 2024 for the fiscal year beginning July the 1st, 2025. Resolution 4, recognizing April the 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the city of Port Huron. Resolution number 5, approving the reappointment of Kevin Banker and William Vaughan to the Historic District Commission with terms to expire March the 10th, 2028. Resolution number 6, confirming the mayor's reappointment of Sherry Smith to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority with a term to expire April the 14th, 2028. Resolution number 7, confirming and approving single lot assessments for fine assessments and/or the cost of removing blighting factors and/or causes of blight, as well as the abatement of nuisance. Resolution number 8, confirming and approving single lot special assessments for fees or charges for foreclosed, vacant, and abandoned properties. Also, the last one, number 9, confirming and approving single lot special assessments for special trash pickup and/or removal of the right-of-way. Okay, now we will move forth to our ordinances.
From the city manager?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's my bad. Okay, we just had one that was hiding out over here from the city manager. Would you read that?
Accepting the bid from Wadham's Equipment in the amount of $28,887.23 for the purchase of a Kubota RTV for use by the Parks Department.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Councilmember Mosrach, supported by Councilmember Lamb. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrach?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Resolutions?
Authorizing 17 payments.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald,
Support.
supported by Councilmember Lamb. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Mosrach?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. We've successfully paid all our bills. Okay, resolution number 2.
Accepting the donation from the Hannah R. Winkler Memorial Fund in the amount of $18,736 to purchase and install a new pavilion at Harrison Point Park.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald and supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Any discussion on that?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Madam Mayor and Council, our community has been very blessed to have the Winkler family in our community. And the Winkler's beautiful daughter, Hannah's memory has been forever forged into this community through our parks, whether it's Gratiot Park and now Harrison Point Park. The family's just done a tremendous amount to really to pay it forward and to see these communities. Madam Mayor, if it's okay with you, I'd like to offer Kathy Winkler and Ben to come to the podium so Kathy can tell us about how important this is to her and her family.
Yes, it's fine. Okay.
Thank you very much for allowing us to come out and do this. I have some things, can I bring forward? Sure. We lost our daughter December 26th of 2019. And the first birthday after she passed, March 1st, 2020, we decided to do a scholarship fund that was family funded. And it did help with the grief. And then we moved on to start raising more money, doing a golf outing. And Hannah absolutely loved this community. She was very involved. She graduated from Huron High School and then went on to SC4 and got her early childhood education degree. She loved children, she loved anyone with a disability, and she loved animals. And she really loved Fort Huron. So we want to give back. And we would like to put in a pavilion in the park. And we ask for installments like we have done in the past.
Thank you on behalf of the Victoria and I'm going to build you another beautiful pavilion.
Awesome.
Miss Winkler, I went by Gratiot Park tonight, and it's just filled with people. So
I love it.
just unbelievable. So thank you for that.
Yes, you all set, Jane? Ms. Winkler, yes, I too was keeping up with her, and the way you speak of her, she must have been very, very fine and a bright young woman. And just for the audience purposes, you know, Hannah, she battled congenital heart. She had heart problems, and a lung condition that took her away. She was at 23 years old. And this is a way that, you know, her legacy lives on. And it does help with it. It helps with the grief, and you grieve. But you know what? It's the healing you're at now, because it's action. When you leave that grieving, that action, it lifts everything up within you.
It makes all the difference.
Yes, it makes you that much stronger. So you just keep doing what you're doing, and we appreciate everything that you're doing in her memory.
I just want to bless the kids in Port Huron.
Well, I know they are blessed, and we're blessed too as adults, because those are our kids that's doing that. And I know she's smiling down on us. So thank you. You're welcome. Anyone else have any comments? Okay, now we will, we have our motion and we have our second. We will now take the roll call.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Now we move towards our ordinances.
Second reading and enactment. An ordinance to amend Chapter 12 Businesses of the Port Huron Code of Ordinances for the purpose of adding Article 14, an article to establish training standards for certain security personnel. This ordinance shall be known as the Joshua Cohen Ordinance.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Support?
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald and supported by Councilmember Mosrak. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor and Council, this ordinance, if confirmed tonight, will take effect Saturday.
Oh, okay.
And no liquor license will get renewed until they can prove to us that they're conforming to this law.
Oh, okay, great.
And we are continuing to work with our state officials to get this in bill text form, get it to the House Legislative Agency, to get it before the House and Senate, and get it before a committee meeting. And I'm working with our reps and our senators on both sides of the aisle, as well as the Democratic side, to get it to the Senate as well. And we're, as a community, as I said before, to get this to become state law, it's very difficult. It will take a community as a whole to lobby Lansing to make sure that we can get this done.
Great, because that's just like yesterday. I'd like to, not to give a shout out, I'd just like to just say, Sandy, you did it. It's all because of a mother's love and how she did that, you know, along with the man upstairs. And it's, you know, I know it's just like a, you know, you just can't find the words, but you know what? It took a mother's love to bring this where it's supposed to be. And I'm just glad we were here to back that up, to put something on it, but you had to do it. You were the foundation. You were the true grit that made it happen. So thank you so very much for giving us this opportunity. Okay. You can clap. Thank you. Okay.
Mayor Ashford, I just
Yes.
have one quick clarifying question, James. We can recommend not approving a liquor license, but it's my understanding we can't, unless this becomes state law, we can't.
We could recommend to the liquor
We
control.
just would recommend.
We can
We
raise
can't
a
stop
flag
them if they
saying,
don't.
we don't approve until this gets through. Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that so that if for some reason
That was,
it were to happen.
We'll begin sending out notices to all the establishments of the new ordinance, what the expectations are. Our police department, our chief of police will begin communicating that as well, to make sure they're aware of the new standards and what our expectations are.
And then if it came before us, then we would not recommend it.
Correct.
But it's still up to the state.
Correct.
Right.
Thank you.
that's a good point. Thank you so
Until
much.
this is passed, right? Sorry. I
Okay.
apologize, I didn't mean to cut you off. And if it passes at the state level, then that would change that, correct?
Yep,
Okay,
assuming how
thank
they
you.
vote.
Let's hope
Okay.
it gets passed.
Okay. All minds clear? Any more discussion? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Ordinance number 2.
First reading, an ordinance to amend Chapter 8 Animals of the Port Huron Code of Ordinances for the purpose of adding Article 4, an article to allow the keeping of chickens.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
So moved by Councilmember Pemberton and supported by Councilmember Lamb. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor and Council, We worked with our city attorney. Wait, go ahead.
Oh, Chair recognizes the city manager.
We had directed City Attorney Todd Shouty to look at drafting the chicken ordinance. Mr. Shouty holds an advanced degree from George Washington University. I was very impressed with his knowledge on chickens and the amount of research that he has done. He read some white paper from Michigan State University on proper chicken care and chicken handling and the size of the coop, and he called me for a briefing, and I honestly could not care less. But, Todd, if you would like to talk about the chicken ordinance that you're so knowledgeable on, the council would love to hear it.
Well, just to be clear, I know enough about chickens to be dangerous. Had a little bit of experience with a chicken coop on my property and some wild animals trying to get in. So if you look at the ordinance, the Michigan State University Agricultural School recommended that if you're going to have an ordinance in a city setting, that you should limit the number of chickens to 4 to 6. So I picked 5 in those numbers. It also recommended that you not allow roosters for obvious reasons, because roosters are quite loud and tend to crow in the morning, would wake up a lot of the neighbors. So we said hens only. It's very important that chickens have an enclosed facility so that they can stay safe from the elements and from animals. I know just from personal experience that raccoons, possums, not where I live, foxes, they can easily get into the enclosure. They usually can get through the fence fairly easily. If you have an enclosed chicken coop or house that you can shut the chickens in at night, then that protects them from the predators that could kill them. I mean, raccoons do kill chickens, and sometimes possums do as well. So we recommended, basically following the recommendation from Michigan State University's Agricultural School on the size of the chicken house, 1 square foot per hen, so there's enough room for them in there when you close them in there. And then an enclosed run, we tried to make it 8 by 8 is about what they recommended, and the goal there is to keep it a relatively small area to keep the chickens. We have basic requirements about the care and treatment of the chickens. One of the key things that we have in there is that chickens are not allowed in a house or a garage or things like that. Some people sometimes look at chickens as a potentially an emotional support animal, and the problem with that is the chicken feces. You know, they will go throughout the house, and then you have a very unsanitary condition. And we actually had one of those situations in the city of Port Huron, and I can't tell you how bad the house was. I mean, it was extremely bad, and that's one of the concerns. Obviously, you want to make sure that, one of the biggest concerns about chickens is the impact on the neighbors. Chicken feces does smell quite a bit. The more feces that there's there, the warmer the weather, that smell can permeate the area, and you don't want to be stinking other people out of their homes who may not be in love with chicken feces smell. So we're basically asking people to clean their pens on a regular basis, their chicken coops on a regular basis, to make sure that the impact on the neighbors is limited. The keeping of the hens is for personal use, so this isn't for somebody to have a bunch of eggs and then sell them and use it as a money-making business. And then we require people to keep their chicken coop 20 feet away from a neighbor's house and 10 feet from a property line, just to minimize the impact on the neighbors. That's the biggest concern I have with this ordinance, is just the impact on neighbors. So.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Some of the feedback I've heard from several of the council members was animal safety, protecting the animals. We have a lot of animal lovers on council. Councilmember Lamb was very adamant about making sure animal safety. So I do want to point out that our animal control officer will really be hands-on in this. We've met with them to make sure that we're going to enforce this law to protect animal safety. I think it's very important. So we will have local control with our currently animal control officer. So if there's an issue with your neighbor, you don't think the chicken's being taken care of, call animal control. We have the tools necessary. Mr. Shai, just one last thing. I believe you were top of your class at George Washington University, if I remember. You're far too humble to brag. Did you actually go to Tractor Supply to look at chicken supplies while drafting this ordinance? Is that true?
I'm a regular at Tractor Supply. I did not go there for the purpose, but I did notice as I was walking in, there was a prefab chicken coop or chicken house available for $400, so they're not cheap.
So I just want to point out that when Mr. Shouty called me, again, top of his class at George Washington University, told me that he was at Tractor Supply and wanted to talk about the chicken coop. So this is the very important matters that go on in your city hall.
I was not top of my class.
You were top of your class. Top of your class. Thank you.
Does anybody else, while you're there, have any questions of Mr. Shouty? Okay, I guess not. Thank you so much for coming up. Okay, well, we're still in the discussion mode. Anybody want to discuss anything, or everybody's all set?
I have a couple items.
Yes.
It was brought up in public comment. Can you speak a little bit more about the neighborhood cleanup and the dollars that the 12,000 is referencing? I'm sure it's along the lines of the conversation we had, with the roads, there's never enough, but can you just speak a little bit what the current plan is?
Excuse me. No, I think we're out of order right now. We're in the chicken family now.
Sorry.
Just chicken. We're talking about chickens. Okay. I know the chickens weren't going to do the cleanup. All right. I was wondering, you were so serious too. That's all right. See, we all make it, it's just a little oversight.
Okay. Mayor Ashford?
Yes.
This is a situation that, about a long time coming, but we've heard very little other than the handful of people that have come forward about it. I've heard very, very little feedback for or against, right? So we have one more reading in 2 weeks before we would actually finalize this. So I'm encouraging residents for or against this to please reach out to us and let us know. We need to make that decision based on what the majority of the residents of Port Huron want to see. And without any feedback whatsoever, you leave us to make that decision on our own. So I encourage people to get back with us and let us know how whether they support it or don't support it. After the fact is not the time to tell us that you don't like it, right?
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Archibald. Anybody else have any remarks on it? The only thing I guess I could echo, Mayor Pro Tem, your remarks, I haven't heard any really for, or I heard a little bit against, like who would want to live. And then they asked me if I wanted to live. No, I'm fine where I am with no coop or whatever. It's nothing against the chickens or anything, but when I read through the ordinance, I felt sorry for the chickens because it seemed like they were being, abused or something. They got to be locked up. They got to be doing this. You got to be doing that. So it's a lot of work behind that. But more importantly, I thought about what do we want to be when we look at ourselves and identify ourselves as a city of Port Huron, and you have grants that cater to rural areas, and it's a whole lot of how we promote ourselves, and we're losing population, and here we're talking about, we're passing an ordinance, we could, have chickens in it and whatever. We can't be all this and all to the world. We have to really lockstep, why people want to come here. I don't know if they want to come here for just because you can have a chicken coop. I mean, we have chickens in the backyard. And then that smell you talked about, it travels, in the air. It is not going to be contained. That's what the smell does. It goes other places. So I do have a lot of questions behind it. And so I will be voting no, but like she said, this has another reading and everything, unless somebody can tell me otherwise. I need some more data points in this to feel comfortable about this. But I am concerned about, our city. And, we got a lot of cleanup without that. We got a housing problem, we got a blight problem. We got all these problems, and you're trying to move in this kind of element, and then enforcement. You're trying to enforce blight enforcement, you're trying to do this. We can't even keep up with the cats. You know, now we got the chickens that you were talking about having. I just want us to be really smart about what we're doing, because, you know, there's a lot of times you could pressure us as a council, you know, a few people or whatever, and that kind of pushes your decisions. And I know you're asking how many, and we do need your help to say what you do want, but I want you to think bigger than that. Think about your city and what you want your city to look like, and people coming in here. It's not just about in the moment. We're talking about the future of the city of Port Huron and bringing people here and how you want to collectively look as a city. So that's my little 2 cents in there. Okay. Call the roll.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
No. Thank you. Motion has carried for the first reading. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're under announcements right now. I'm supposed to read this by law, so it would be out there and we would be in compliant. The city routinely monitors our drinking water quality and annually provides to our customers the results through our Consumer Confidence Report, that's called the CCR. The 2024 CCR is available online, and you could get that. The link is www.porthuron.org and CCR. And a link is printed on each water bill to provide direct access for viewing. If you are unable to receive this request on time online, or for whatever reason would like us to deliver a paper copy to you, please call 810-984-9763, and one will be mailed to you. And I also would like to just notify the council and city manager. Today I received invite or mail from Senator Alyssa Slotkin's office from her deputy director, Ann Brown, and she has, you know, reached out to me personally, and she said, Anita, she wants Port Huron to their grants and everything and monies that's coming available to local municipalities, and so I'm going to pass this along to James. It's not a lot. I mean, it is a lot to try to unfold, but I'm going to pass it on to him so he can make the connections. So this CDS is a congressionally directed spending, and the deadline is Friday, April the 25th. So if we have any projects that are in the hopper or anything, and they sometimes do this, you know, they find favor with, you know, politicians or whoever, and so I think they just want to help me through helping, you know, the city of Port Huron. So I'll pass this along to James, and if he has any projects on the hopper, and we can get some money to make that happen. So I don't know where that would fall at, but I want to thank Senator Slotkin's office for, you know, doing that. It's just to us, it's to everybody else, but they're making the effort to say, hey, Port Huron, Mayor Ashford, we have that, and we're on the lookout for you. So with that, anybody have anything else to add? You wanted to ask something?
Can we just run the tape back? What is
Yeah,
it?
I got it.
Oh, I can run the tape back. James
I'm just
remembers.
kidding.
Oh, okay.
So I guess maybe segues from our last conversation, you know, as we do different things, we want to obviously keep improving the city, making sure we're keeping everything clean. But it was mentioned about the $12,000 for a neighborhood cleanup, just like a lot of these things as we're reviewing the budget here, you know, there's never enough money, but can you speak a little bit to what the plan is currently with that?
Yes, absolutely. First, at our couple meetings ago, I don't know, 1 or 2 meetings ago, we did do a CDS request for Lisa McLean's office. I spoke with Senator Peters' office and Slotkin's office today. I'm going to bring back those resolutions as well for Slotkin and Peters as well. So we had 2 projects on, well, actually 3 projects on there, but one was the canal and the fire truck purchase. And so it'll be really nice having both Republican Lisa McLean and Democrat Peters and Slotkin getting behind those proposals. So I will bring back those resolutions at your next meeting to have them run through the Senate as well. As for the neighborhood cleanup, $12,000 is actually for the neighborhood cleanup event. Mr. Harris mentioned properties that have suffered fire damage. That has nothing to do with what these are for. These are for the actual neighborhood cleanup events that we host, renting the dumpsters and all the materials that go with it. As for the fire, homes that are damaged by fire, there's actually called the fire insurance program. So if your house burns down, it was insured for $100,000, 10% of that, $10,000, comes to the city of Port Huron immediately, that we hold in a separate fund to ensure the proper repair or cleanup of that burned out home. So if a home is not repaired in proper order or is not tore down in proper order, we actually have those funds on hand to commence the demolition of those properties. And throughout the entire city of Port Huron, we have about 29 homes that are damaged by fire, and some of them are a nuisance and some of them are being repaired. We have them all on work plans in which we monitor them. Some will be taking some action on to get approval to demolish them because they're not being repaired either fast enough or they're beyond repair. And so it is a priority of our planning department to work on those fire damaged homes. We are very aware of that. But there's a legal process which we must follow. The reason why I know that is because I talked to Mr. Shouty this week about expediting that process, believe it or not. So yes, there's a whole different pots of money we use for neighborhood cleanups. The $12,000 is not the end or the limit of it. It's just that certain events that we do.
Oh, okay. Did that answer your question?
It does.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, any more feedback? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion to? Oh, you have another motion?
We're still in, I have one more comment, maybe
okay.
announcements, and I guess, the first couple presentations is the one thing is you just feel how much people love the city. And yes, one of them is my sister Nancy, who obviously I've seen how much she's loved the city for years. But I think one thing that does get overlooked, and it was spoken to that, is how strong and how much our employees do love working for the city. And the other part is how, Nancy and James, as far as just having a succession plan, always thinking forward of bringing the next person up to make these transitions as smooth as possible. I think it gets overlooked, and I just wanted to call it out that it's very well done, and I appreciate all their efforts. And then the last comment was just more under the announcement of a couple meetings ago, the Black River Boat Club regarding the river cleanup. It's going to be May 10th, and basically 10 a.m. Bakersfield boat launch and Riverside boat launch. Most of the people from the boat club go to Bakersfield, so anybody that's willing to participate for the Riverside boat launch would be great. And I think the biggest thing is money is one thing, but it's the people spending their time and helping. That's how we all do it together, and we have a little fun too. So look forward to seeing anybody that can make it out May 10th.
Just question, this is your second time hitting that up, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, how was it the last time? Was it successful?
It was very successful. We had, I think they'd said, they had about a dozen people before, and I would say we had 50, 60 people. Didn't think we'd find a car last time, but we found a car, so I think we were overdue. And I think if we just stay on it, there's always going to be stuff coming down the river. I mean, that's one of our jewels and something to display to people. So it's always going to be happening, but the more we can clean up every time, I think we'll have just a little less every time. So hope to keep it going.
Yeah, thank you, Cartwright. Some of us up here, we have pet projects that we get involved with. When you're on the city council, you're not allowed to be on committees or head committees, but you can show your support by being a part of something like what he was talking about, helping out, supporting, making our city a better place. Okay, so.
Madam Mayor?
Yes?
One of the things Connor mentioned was planning for continuity of government should positions leave. One of the things when I interviewed for this job in 2014 is the mayor and council at the time said, within 5 years, all your department heads are going to retire. That was in 2014. That was a daunting task to find people capable who are knowledgeable in their field, subject matter experts. I think one of my proudest achievements is we have now 8 different very capable department heads, very talented. I think Nancy's a perfect example of someone who worked their way up from the ground level, all the way up through school, got a master's degree, became deputy city manager. If I fell over dead, she'd probably do a better job than I did. and she's an amazing woman. We are investing in our employees. We have the Port Huron Leadership Academy that we now have for our employees. So if you're someone who's mowing the lawns, who one day wants to be a foreman or be a division head, we provide internal education opportunities to reach that. Not every job requires a college degree. Some of the best paying jobs are in our wastewater and water plant. There is no college program to run a water plant or a sewer plant. It's all on-the-job training. You have to work several years to sit for a licensing test, and then you have to work several more years to sit for another licensing test. Some of my biggest concerns are not about management at a general level, but these technical positions, water sewer operators, water operators, these positions you just can't post a job and find, you have to develop them. We're working hard to get high school kids back into touring our facilities. If you remember back, well, Bob, when you were in high school, you took a tour of the water plant back then, the wastewater plant. It was part of the school curriculum. You would walk high school kids through and RESA kids through these, to show them what these jobs are and that they exist, and you wouldn't even know about it. The current, Diane, who runs our wastewater plant, she's a brilliant woman, a scientist. She was actually on a tour as an SC4 student and toured our plant. That's how she decided to come work for the city of Port Huron in our wastewater plant, and now she runs that entire operation. I would encourage you this, if you have young people, encourage them to come and tour our facilities, to look at the jobs that are out there. College is kind of a waste of money for a lot of these jobs. You can make 6 figures by OJT on the job training some of our city jobs. We're desperately in need of CDL drivers who can drive trucks for us and snowplows in the wintertime. In fact, so much so that we will actually pay for you to go get your CDL and pay for your class. That's a lifelong certificate you can take anywhere. And so I really encourage people to look at the job opportunities within the city of Port Huron. There's a lot of potential there, and it's a great place, a great career. We don't pay the best. You're not going to get rich, but it's secure employment. It's a really good working environment. A lot of wonderful people work here, and so I would encourage you to join, be a part of our team. Police officers and firefighters. We're trying to get more diversity within our ranks. But to get more diversity within our ranks, I need a more diverse candidate pool to hire from. So if you know young people, we are in need of cadets. So those who are going to school for law enforcement, we're in desperate need of cadets. And I want to get a more diverse candidate pool. Encourage young people to look at the cadet program, to look at the Explorer program. If you have a young person who's even thinking about it, schedule a meeting with the police chief or the fire chief. They would love to talk to a young person about pursuing a career. I don't think, pay-wise, we're not going to steal people from other communities. And so as a community, to fill these jobs, we really need to focus on developing our local talent. And if we want to get more diversity within our ranks, we need to reach out to places we otherwise wouldn't look for talent. And so that's a community as a whole. So if you know a young person who's looking for an opportunity, send them our way. Let us show them the jobs that are out there. We're going to continue working to get the schools back into our water and wastewater plant, our DPW, so that folks can see, these kids can see just what great job opportunities there are here in Port Huron. They don't have to leave home. They can raise their family here and have a good future here working for the city of Port Huron.
Thank you, James. Okay. All here's okay. Is there a motion that we adjourn?
So moved.
Is there support?
Second.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you for coming out tonight.